We are stepping into Diwali week, and so once again, season's greetings from all of us to you and your loved ones. Now, let's talk about that firecracker that I promised you. This is an upgrade that's slowly going to be driving into the market in just a few days' time. BMW has updated its 7 Series sedan. Now, this is the flagship of the BMW range. It's also a very significant model, and so naturally, the changes are pretty significant as well. Let's run you through those and take you through what you can expect on the new 7 Series. The flagship of any brand has always got to showcase its very best. The very best in technology, efficiency, performance, styling and comfort. Throw in the fact that it's also got to be the most luxurious in most cases, and you've got yourself quite a tall order to fulfill. Now start talking about a product that's also a high seller worldwide, and you're only compounding your problems. So with the 7 Series, BMW had the task of not only updating the massive car, but also making it even more relevant than it already is to its high-end clientele. The car is available in a number of variants in diesel, petrol and long wheelbase versions. I have the new 750D X-Drive with me today. The Nymphenburg Castle here in Munich is quite a sight, quite a hot spot with tourists as well, I can tell you. And what better setting really to talk about a car as grand as this one. Now, what we have with us today is not the long wheelbase. In India, of course, you only get the long wheelbase of the 7 Series. What's also different about this one is that this one is X-Drive, which means it's got all-wheel drive, and so that's again something won't be on offer necessarily in India. But everything else that you see on the car in terms of just the revised looks, some of the other new features, all of that stuff will be coming in, and we'll talk you through all of that. Quick point, you're seeing a lot of luxury cars these days coming through with this metallic sort of white pearl effect paint. Looks really nice, especially in a setting like this. And I can tell you that this car has been the highest selling 7 Series till date for BMW. And so the expectations are that in fact now with the facelift, it's going to actually for the first time perhaps cross the S-Class in sales in the year 2012. So now you know what a big deal it is, being the generation with the highest ever sales tally for the 7 Series sedan. So BMW has been careful not to mess with it too much, because it would really love to surpass the car that's been segment bestseller for years, the Mercedes-Benz S-Class, wouldn't it? It's still very much stately and elegant. And mind you, since I'm quite thrilled that I have the regular wheelbase all-wheel drive car, it's also pretty sporty. And what's more, the company says that the entire engine range has been reworked to offer lower emissions and higher fuel efficiency. The 750i and 730d see carbon dioxide output lowered by 25% and 17% respectively. All variants now have auto start-stop, which reduces fuel consumption by 6%. And finally, besides the other settings like Sport and Comfort mode, the Eco Pro mode also enhances efficient driving and can mean a fuel saving of up to 20%. So it's a substantial drop in consumption, isn't it, across the engine range, and while buyers in our market in this segment may not really care about that too much, here in Europe across segments buyers do definitely care. So it's a significant enough change under the hood when it comes to the engine family. This particular car that I'm driving right now is of course the 750D X-Drive, which means it's 4-wheel drive. It's been fun. It's like I said, not the long wheelbase, so it's been a lot more satisfying to drive because of that. The 4-wheel drive of course also kicks in and adds in terms of just the overall handling, etc. going up. You can throw this car around even at higher speeds, and why not, because you do have 380 horses at your disposal, 740 Nm of torque, and of course it is an inline-6 engine that we're talking about, 3 litre. But all of that becomes irrelevant for us, because guess what, this particular spec, this particular model isn't coming to India. So let's instead now run you through the tech specs on the diesels and the petrols that are indeed coming to our market. Well, what the company has decided for now is that for starters, India will get just one variant, and that's the 730LD. There may be a rethink on whether the market needs a petrol, but that won't happen before mid-2013. For good measure, let me also show you the specs of the car I am driving. It's the same 3-litre diesel block, but more powerful, punchy and very refined. That, I have to say, was expected. The joker in the pack is the new 8-speed Steptronic transmission, which of course will come to India, it's crisp, very precise, and a real pleasure. The car does look more attractive than it used to. While it's a mature design, the rear and the flanks tend to look sexier overall. The agility in the stance has also gone up, though perhaps that's once again more so because I have the shorter car than what we get in India. It's almost a pity really that we don't get the regular wheelbase version of the car in our market, and that's true of all of these cars in this segment. It just looks so much more proportionate and it drives so much better. But anyway, most of our buyers do want to sit at the back. We'll come to that in a second. Styling characteristics haven't really changed in that sense because this car, when the new generation first drove in a few years ago, had this really big face, really upright, standing tall kind of a grille, of course kidney grille, but that hasn't been sort of de-emphasized. You still see that. However, the previous headlamp also tended to look a little wide-eyed, a little bit too tall. It's gotten more streamlined. It's a lot sexier now as a result. And of course, this particular one has the optional full LED treatment, which means the corona rings, for the first time ever for BMW, are actually the actual headlamp beam as well. So full LED treatment looks really cool. It is different and kind of matches Audi now step for step with what they've been doing with cars like the A8 or the A8L. The other thing, of course, which a lot of buyers do appreciate in this segment, you got lots of these cameras scattered all around the car. How does that help? Let's go inside to find out. Inside, the cabin is the usual luxurious opulence one would expect at this end of the market. Pleasing tones, customizable to a certain extent, and comfortable seats. Throw in all the gadgets and gizmos one now gets, and it's quite a techie's delight too. This includes head-up display, 3D display on the navigation, connectivity with the cloud, active cruise control, etc., etc. And oh yeah, before I forget, let's talk about those cameras. So the way it works really is you've got cameras all around the car. They give you different kinds of views, and of course you've seen that on other cars before, so it's not new to the 7 Series. I just thought I'll refresh your memory. So put the car in reverse, and instead of the regular rear view camera view that you get, here you actually get a nice aerial shot of the car. And so it really gives you perspective, because it tells you exactly where you are on the road, where the car is, how much space there is on the side. Gently reverse, and then, oh, there you can see I feel like I'm going off the road just a little bit. So correct myself and keep going right alongside and continuing. There you can see. I can see the road opening up. So now I know I have room there to reverse. Clean, simple, really effective, and I can get going. The other thing which you can do is that when you come up to a little intersection, you feel that there's a bit of a blind spot, you're not sure what really lies ahead of you. Well, then you can just put the little camera on, and what you see are the two curb views. You get to see what's happening on either side, so that, you know, the nose of the car that's ahead tells you what's really coming up. Is there an oncoming car? Can you get out cleanly? So pretty effective and just a little bit safer. So that is pretty darn neat, isn't it? Of course, the level of equipment varies depending on how much a buyer wants to spend. The engineers at BMW have also worked to make the cabin quieter than before, by the way, lowering noise levels, especially in the back.
India's #1 news app just got even better. Download NDTV's new app. Fully optimized for retina display, full screen view, faster response time, and Sudoku. NDTV's new iPad app. Download now.